a guy who has been in the controversy lately, and it's mostly because of one of his IPL teams. The person we are talking about is Sanjiv Goenka from the RPSG group. Anmol, do you know what is RP in RPSG?
This is the guy who we covered on the pod who said Nepo babies don't work.
Yes, that's the guy. Last year he was in news because he shouted at KL Rahul. This year he's in news because he's shouting at
Who is he shouting at?
Rishabh Pant. And the funniest video that came out of that was like Sanjiv Goenka going out and collecting the trophy when like it's the team's job to do it. That's what he was saying, that the next generation only wants to do that.
Have you heard of this guy called Mehta?
The only problem is that they are not integrating their protein products with their supply chains.
Yeah.
So they are not really available anywhere except their own website, not even like e-commerce and stuff.
Now moving from the protein stack to the AI stack.
बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा फैंसी नहीं लग रहा मेरा?
काफी fancy लग रहा है.
This is my bedroom.
Coming to you live from Jaipur and Bangalore.
Yo.
Yo. Okay. This week we're gonna start off by asking people to like, subscribe, and share. I
Yeah.
realize we've not been asking you guys, and 75% who people who watch our videos do not subscribe. So
Yes.
please hit the bell icon.
We have 300 subscribers and we get 800 views.
Yeah.
Doesn't add up.
Yeah. Someone needs to hit the subscribe button. Shobhit, what are we talking about today? There's no third person, so there's no guest, but what are we covering?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about first a guy who has been in the controversy lately, and it's mostly because of one of his IPL teams.
Who's in controversy?
Yeah, because he's always shouting at his players.
Oh.
The person we are talking about is Sanjiv Goenka from the RPSG group. Anmol, do you know what is RP in RPSG or what is RPSG?
I don't know what RP stands for, but
Huh,
I know the RP Sanjiv Goenka group.
correct. So it's Ram Prasad Sanjiv Goenka group.
Oh,
So Ram Prasad is
his dad.
Sanjiv Goenka's dad. And do you know Harsh Goenka?
Harsh Goenka, that's the guy on Twitter, right?
Yeah, he's his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, this is the guy who we covered on the pod who said Nepo babies don't work.
Yes, that's the guy. So he is Sanjeev
Nepo baby.
Goenka's elder brother.
So he's a Nepo baby who doesn't work also.
Apparently. So you know there's so Ram Prasad Goenka, who is the father of both Sanjeev Goenka and Harsh Goenka. He started RPG,
Yes.
Ram Prasad Goenka Group.
Yep.
Okay. So before that, before starting the group, they had like a bunch of like small time family businesses.
Yeah.
Okay. So they had like a tire shop and a bunch of things like that.
Tire shop, C8 Tires. It's a big company.
Correct. No, they that became later. But so yeah, RPG Group essentially comprises of things like C8, KEC, that is something you might have seen, Zensar, which is like an IT solution company, you might not have heard of it, and there are like a bunch of B2B businesses there.
And
But see,
also retail.
RPG?
Yeah. Or I
No,
don't know, RPG or RPSG. One is
Yeah,
when
so
he
I'm talking about RPG right now.
Okay.
So RPG has C8, RPG
Okay.
has KEC. This is the one led by Harsh Goenka.
Got it.
C8, KEC, then there's Zensar, which is like one of the IT companies that I sort
Got
of
it.
know because of RPG Enterprise. Sort of started in 1979 by consolidating a bunch of family-owned businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and the RPG comes from Ram Prasad Goenka. They acquired, by the way, C8,
Yeah.
KEC, Dunlop. If you have heard of Dunlop, maybe
Yep.
they did a bunch of diversification. So they have like a biotech company, RPG Life Sciences. They have an IT company, Zensar, and like they try to sort of with these companies they try to serve the international markets. In 2011, essentially, Sanjeev Goenka, the younger son
Yep.
of RPG, he sort of split from the
Oh.
family company, and he started RPSG, which is RP Sanjeev
Yeah.
Goenka Group,
Yeah.
and Harsh Goenka, the Nepo baby guy, he retained control of the original RPG group.
Got it. Interesting.
So I think what happened is in the split, this he got sort of a bunch of money with which he sort of
Got-
built more companies.
Yeah.
So for RPSG,
Yeah.
do you know before Lucknow,
Yeah.
Lucknow Super Giants, which IPL company did RP Sanjeev Goenka own?
He owned a different IPL team.
Yes.
Really? Which one?
Yeah.
Kerala
Guess.
Tuskers.
I mean, you're in the right direction, but no.
Deccan Chargers.
No. So he owned Rising Pune Super Giants.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
called Rising Pune Super Giants because then it will acronym to RPSG.
Interesting.
That's why he bid for Pune because he was like, I can put Rising and then Pune in between. That's P, and then Super Giants is.
Oh wow. Okay, I did not know that. What happened to that team?
So it was there for only a couple of years because Rajasthan Royals and CSK were
Oh, this is
banned.
when after the betting scandal.
So yeah, some trivia for you.
Wow.
Uh, do you know his
I do know about the other sports team they own.
which is Mohan Bagan?
That is Mohan Bagan. ATK Mohan Bagan or Mohan Bagan. They keep going through so many name changes that I can't keep track of.
So ATK
Yes.
Kolkata is what it was called, and then they sort of
Well,
merged it with Mohan Bagan for ISL,
yeah, yeah.
and now it's called ATK Mohan Bagan.
No, no. Now it's called Mohan Bagan Supergiant.
Oh, sorry, Mohan Bagan Super Giants. Yeah, it was called ATK Mohan Bagan in between. Then now
Yeah.
it's called Mohan Bagan Super
He-
Giants. Super Giants is basically his way of.
SG is his.
na-
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
got
needs
it.
to put his
Uh,
initials on everything that he does.
Correct. So you know other businesses Sanjeev Goenka owns.
I have Wikipedia open, so I do know. But you tell me.
Okay. So he owns Saregama. Saregama is the music label in India. They sell like Carava and all that shit. He owns 2Yum, which
Okay.
is like a brand. I think Virat Kohli endorses it. So it's like a snack brand, like
Got it.
Kurkure kind of a brand, but it's supposed to be healthy.
Okay.
Then Nature's Basket is he was the owner of Nature's Basket before he sold it to Godrej.
Yes.
I think that happened in 2019.
Yes.
They also have Spencer's Retail.
Yes.
Spencer's Retail. I don't know. I've not come across Spencer's a lot in India,
I
but
think it is largely in east, so like Kolkata.
yeah, makes
Uh,
sense. So Spencer's is what he owned, and by the way, he is from Kolkata. He's like that. The
ah,
base of his company is in Kolkata, so that explains a lot.
makes sense. He
And
also
then
owns Dr. Vedya's.
he owns Dr. Vedya's. He owns Lucknow Super Giants. He owns Mohan Bagan Super Giants. He also has like a digital movie production house called Yodlee Films.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the movies have not been like a hit. Like for example, there's a movie called Bridge Mohan Amar Rahe. This was a movie on Netflix. Yeah, it was a decent movie, but it's nothing
Yeah.
crazy. There was another movie called Bahut Hua Samman. These were like the two biggest movies, and you wouldn't have heard of them. So,
I mean, as
uh,
someone who watches a lot of like lame movies, even I have not heard of these ones.
they don't release on in theaters. They
Yeah.
only do digital. So, but yeah, so Basket was shut down. There was another music retail shop they owned or stores they owned called Music World. They sort of shut it down because of like digital disruption and stuff. They technically own two football teams. Now they own one. So one of the teams is technically shut down now. Another company that you might probably not know about, one that they own, is called First Source. Have you
Okay.
heard of them? It's a
No.
public company.
What is
First
what
Source
does
is
it do?
it's like Infosys. So essentially, what I see is they try to mimic like from the RPG whatever kind of diversification they have, and then sort of try to mimic it, and then he's like adding on top of like he's adding like sports and he's adding music, media, and all
Yeah.
those things. They're like so diversified, like they literally don't have any relation between businesses. They don't get any overhead benefits at all,
Yeah. Yeah.
except maybe legal, maybe
But
HR.
I mean, okay, so
That's
I am seeing that they own a bunch of like different like coal and power companies. I think there is
CSCS.
some value in like having multiple of those and having some shared. I don't know. I would assume so, but I could be very wrong because I don't know that industry at all.
Yeah, so basically that's something I've thought would be interesting because recently he's been news. Last year he was in news because he shouted at
Okay.
KL Rahul.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
he shouted at KL Rahul. This year he's in news because he's shouting at
Who is he shouting at?
Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant.
So Rishabh Pant is the most expensive player in IPL this year. He is making 27 crores
Oh
per
wow.
season,
Okay.
and based on the points earned by a player, he's like third last
Oh yeah, I
in the
saw. I saw.
category.
I think I saw. Did you tweet this?
No, no, it was in our IPLGC.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's like he's ranked 174 out of 176 people or something like that, based on the impact people have had.
Yeah, but they're not doing that bad in the league.
Yeah, they're not doing that bad.
Yeah.
Correct. Another trivia, fun trivia. Did you know that Lucknow Super Giants was like the most expensive bid for franchisee?
Well, is it because they're partly owned by that sports corporate venture arm, CVC Partners?
I'm not sure, but like that's just this is the extent I
Yeah.
found.
But
I think they bid like 7,000 crores or
yeah,
something.
is RPSG Group the sole owner of them, or is it like multiple owners? Which was the other new team?
Gujarat Titans.
Gujarat Titan. Gujarat Lion. Oh no, that's
So RPSG Group is the sole owner of the Lucknow Super Giants. So they the winning bid was 940 million in October 2021.
wow. And how much was Gujarat Titans? Gujarat Titans is co-owned by that this corporate venture arm that owns multiple sports teams. Okay, they bought it for 660 million.
Wow, that's like a third.
Wait, no, two thirds, 660. 660 versus 9.
Two thirds. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
a discount of a third is what I
Ah, ठीक है, ठीक है.
meant.
Why are they upset with?
Rishabh
Yeah,
Pant.
just because he's not scoring runs.
He's not scoring runs. He's not winning them matches or as much they want to win. So they won the ISL this year, Mohan Bagan. And the funniest video that came out of that was like Sanjiv Goenka going out and collecting the trophy when like it's the team's job to do it. That was like a little embarrassing video to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
to watch that video.
That's like Trump going to collect the winning for Team USA instead of whatever
or
American Olympic.
or yeah, Trump's representative winning the heavy world championship and then he going and taking it like or Modi ji going and taking like the World Cup. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, did you know that RPG, nor RPSG, also has a venture firm?
venture firm.
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
It's called RPG Ventures.
Hey, like a family office. No, that's
Huh.
what he was talking about. That's what he was talking about, Harsh Goenka.
Wait, when?
That's what he was saying that the next generation only wants to do that.
Oh, well, I initially thought it was RPSG Ventures, but turns out it's only RPG Ventures. They I think mostly do
RBS.
like consumer brands and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, they. I think they have the distribution for that. I
Yeah,
mean, they own C8 for God's sake. Right?
yeah. But like they've invested in like Sleepy Cat. I don't know if you've heard of that
Hmm.
company.
Yep. Yep.
And Ugao.
Yep.
These are all
The
100-foot road companies. If you,
Ugao is not.
yeah, yeah, Ugao is.
Wait, where?
Ugao has a location on 100-foot road.
Oh, right, 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 right.
Damn, you're not up to
Yeah.
date on your
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
you're not
Correct.
up
It's
to
like
date on your.
not like on the main. Yeah, I mean on the
Sure,
main road, but like not
it's like after
between
Bob's.
after Bob's. But no, not after Bob's.
Yeah.
This is I get so there's like a chai shop below that as well. That's
अच्छा
what
वो
I've
नहीं
seen.
पता मेरे
But yeah, great. So yeah, that was Sanjeev Goenka, the guy who's
को.
screaming
Is there any
at
learnings from Sanjeev Goenka in his businesses or his
no,
professional?
nothing really. Like it's just he had like specifically from Sanjeev Goenka nothing because he had like money
Yeah.
and he's like he did a great job
Okay.
diversifying. He did a great job managing the money.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he's the one running any of these
Yeah. Yeah.
businesses. He just like buys businesses. He's like a mini Warren Buffett if you think about it. Not doing on the public markets, like holding more of a PE firm than anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. Yeah.
A diversified PE firm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And now that he's diversified enough, he can go buy sports teams and do
Correct.
things he loves.
He's doing Mark Cuban shit now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on from Mr. Sanjeev
Sanjeev Goenka.
Goenka. Have you heard of this guy called Neil Mehta?
No, dude. Like I saw that name and I've heard the name but never realized who is or
Okay, okay. So I think this is more like for like the venture capital nerds and junkies, but there is this popular podcast called Invest Like the Best, in which he kind of recently came on, and the guys who run that also run a newsletter series called Colossus, in which he was featured. So I'd
hmm.
heard about this guy a bit, but like He runs this firm called Greenoaks. It's about only 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of, they have some very, very impressive investments. So let me just name some of the ones that I think you've heard of. Figma,
Yes.
Wiz. Do you remember Wiz?
Stripe.
That's the $32 billion.
The acquisition.
Yeah. Canva.
Canva.
Yeah.
My God.
Stripe,
Wow.
Discord,
Really?
and Rippling. And a couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember when SVB shut down in the US, or like that whole,
Silicon Valley
yeah,
Bank.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that whole debacle happened? So for some context, Silicon Valley Bank kind of went bankrupt in the US, and that was the premier bank that all startups and people in the SF ecosystem use for their company bank, for where they store all their VC money, etc., etc., etc. And basically, Rippling was in a position where they possibly couldn't run payroll when this whole thing was happening, because they're running payroll for all these companies. It's a payroll provider company. So
Mm-hmm.
like the founder like calls up Neil and he's like, we might need to use equity capital to run payroll for all the companies on the
Yeah.
platform. And Neil just
Ah,
like signs him a term sheet and wires him money like that day. So
wow.
he's like a very ballsy investor is how I'd put it. He
Mm.
used to work in, I think, investment banking or tech consulting at DE Shaw Group. I don't know if you've heard of them, but
DE Shaw.
yeah, yeah. He used to do a bunch of stuff in China. And then in 2012, he decided to start his own firm. And we'll get to why this is relevant and interesting in the Indian context. But in 2012, he started his own fund. It was a $50 million fund. And then he goes and puts 40% of his fund into a single company. Usually, like VCs will put their fund into like 20 to 30 companies, maybe at max you might have one company that becomes 10 to 12% of your fund. Sometimes it can go
Mm.
more, but like 40% of your fund going into a single company is not as heard of.
Yeah.
And it was into a company called Coupang. Have you heard
Okay.
of them?
Bang. No, not at all.
So they're like South Korea's Amazon, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything you need in Korea, you get it on Coupang. And very interestingly, he led the first 5 out of 8 rounds in the company and made
Wow.
$8 billion on his investment in Coupang. He also started getting interested in India around 2013, 2014. He's only invested in, I think, 5 Indian companies. I'll name four and then I'll ask you to try to guess the fifth. So his first investment was in Flipkart. This is when Flipkart was already fairly large size. So
Large.
matlab, not like a easy bet to make. Then he invested
Mm.
in Hasura and Invideo, which have been more global companies, so makes sense. And then one of his
Mm-hmm.
more recent investments was in Zetwork, which is doing like I think B2B factory and contract manufacturing stuff. He also invested and led a Series A in 2015, which has become a very popular, famous, infamous company.
Infamous.
Yeah. Can you try to
Okay.
guess which company this was?
Byju's infamous.
उसी लाइन मतलब उतना भी नहीं कबाड़ा किया बट
Okay, okay, got it.
या
Oh, they're like still going on.
या आईपीओ भी हो जाएगा
Oh,
शायद.
IPO. I thought otherwise I would have gone for Snapdeal.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay, okay. Oyo.
Yes. So
Nice.
I couldn't figure out how he came across Oyo, got introduced, no clue. Uh,
Peter Thiel.
that is that is probably the link I would assume,
Hmm.
because his first ever investment was he led a secondary transaction in Palantir, which is Peter Thiel's defense.
Current company.
Yeah, and so he apparently got that because he had a relationship with Joe Lonsdale, who was one of the co-founders, and somehow convinced Joe Lonsdale to let him do a $3 million secondary transaction. Maybe that relationship led to Oyo, but Oyo raised in 2015 about a $25 million round, which he led. Oyo at this time
Wow.
only had like 200 hotels. It was a fairly small company. The
Mm-hmm.
only investors in the company at the time were DSG Consumer Partners, which is a consumer fund for India and Southeast Asia. Sequoia Capital India, and then Lightspeed India.
Do you remember like Oyo did not actually start with like a hotel franchisee kind of a model? It was more of like initially it was
Aggregate.
Oravel, which
Yeah.
was like Airbnb for
Yeah.
India, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they moved to like a different model.
Yeah.
So
No, so
which
this
model
was
did you
when they had
invest?
already moved to the Oyo aggregator hotel model. Uh,
Got it, got it.
so they had tied up with about 200 hotels at the time, and they were live in I think 10 cities. Then just I think a couple months later, Oyo ends up raising $100 million from SoftBank, in which he doubled down and
Wow.
invested. So first round 25 million का raise हुआ था, उसमें Greenoaks invested 55 crores. Second round Oyo raised $100 million. Greenoaks invested 58 crores. 2 years later, Oyo raises $250 million. Greenoaks invests 32 crores. ठीक है, तो उन्होंने काफी इन्वेस्टर्स किया हुआ है. After all this, they own about 5.76% of the company. After reading this, I was like kind of curious, like, अच्छा IPO prospectus में उनका नाम होगा फिर, है ना? Like
Hmm.
you would assume.
Hmm. Yeah.
ठीक है. फिर turns out I was reading their DRHP, which is what Indian companies put out when they go public.
Mm-hmm.
They only own 0.074%.
What? Why?
Why?
How?
So, do you remember what happened in 2019 around Oyo when SoftBank wanted to get more control in the company?
Oh, no idea, bro.
Okay, okay. So in 2019, Masa was apparently like so bullish on Ritesh that he wanted to own as much of the company that he could. Now,
And Masa is the
the founder
partner of
of
SoftBank.
SoftBank. Now there were a couple of challenges where SoftBank wasn't allowed to increase their stake to more than 50% of the company without the consent of Lightspeed and Sequoia and I think a couple other folks. Now this meant that SoftBank couldn't do a new primary round in the company. A primary round of a company means that a company will issue new shares, dilute everyone else, and the new shares will get issued to the new investor coming in. Now, this wasn't, I think, a possibility because Masa wanted to put a shit ton of money more into Oyo, and Sequoia and Lightspeed probably didn't want to put in more into the company. Now, the only way around this was then, I think at this point, they owned 42-43%. SoftBank owned 42-43%. The only way around this was to buy out shares from other folks. ठीक है? So basically, SoftBank ने Greenoaks का पूरा शेयर होल्डिंग खरीद लिया.
Okay.
Okay.
But he got a return on it though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. So they
Yeah.
bought out most of the shareholding in Oyo
Mm-hmm.
for 1800 crores.
Okay.
So about
And
250.
how much did he put in?
He total put in 145 crores,
Okay.
and this is all just in a span of 4 years.
So he 12x his money in like 4 years.
Yes, and he is
Wow.
probably one of the few people who's gotten their money out of Oyo
Oh yeah.
at the right time.
At the right time.
The other thing
Yeah.
that happened was then SoftBank through some Japanese banks helped Ritesh get a line of credit that Ritesh used to buy out SoftBank, to buy out Lightspeed and Sequoia. So that directly or indirectly is controlled by SoftBank and Masa as well.
Hmm.
But this kind of Masa's desire for control led to Neil Mehta making a shit ton of money because Oyo at this time was valued at like $10 billion.
Yeah.
They still own like I think 30-40 crores worth of their stake in Oyo. So
Hmm.
when that IPOs, they'll make some more money, but majority of the पैसा तो उनने बना लिया है and उनसे
Hmm.
ज्यादा किसी ने पैसा नहीं बनाया है इसमें मेरे ख्याल से.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
But do you think Oyo as a concept has worked anywhere else except India? Kind of a concept.
I don't know if like that exact concept has worked anywhere else. Like I think in Europe,
You need like a very low trust society to
yeah,
sort of work, make
yeah,
it work.
and a large market.
Yeah.
because like
We don't have.
Europe has a lot of like hostels, but like you have aggregator services that you don't need to brand the hostels that way. In the
Mhm,
US you don't really have anything like Oyo. I have no clue about
mhm.
Latin America अगर कुछ हुआ है. I have no clue about if I know Oyo tried going into China and expanding there. I have no clue whatever happened of that, or if there is a different Chinese brand there. But as far
Mhm.
as I know, it has only worked in India, and I don't know like to what degree it has worked in India, because I think like the brand has certainly taken a hit for the last 4 or 5 years. Have you
Yeah,
ever
like
stayed in Oyo
a couple of times, yes. Mostly in Bombay for
for
work
for
trips and all
for
that.
nefarious purposes or for
No, mostly for work
okay,
trips.
okay? Because I remember like I was in the US in college at that time, but like Oyo would be where like young people would book so they could hook up because they couldn't hook up at their own homes.
The story that I've heard is around the GCCs,
Mm.
global these centers and all, where essentially the hotels, the Oyo hotels and all would be booked around like the lunchtime
Okay.
because that's when people would get free and then they would just go and have a quickie
Yeah.
and then leave and then
Interesting.
that's the story. Is what I've
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about Neil Mehta and all of his investments in India. I feel like he'd love the quick commerce companies, but I don't think he's invested in.
But you know who actually loves the quick commerce companies?
I do not know. Tell me. We do.
Obviously, we do, but basically the protein maxers.
The protein maxers. Of course, the protein maxis love their weigh in 10 minutes, weigh in 30 minutes.
This is a convenient way for me to sort of foray into the next topic,
Yeah. What
which
is
is
India's biggest, newest protein company? Actually, not
yeah.
newest, but
So yeah, it's an old company. India's one of the oldest companies that I know of. The company is called Amul, and who doesn't know Amul, right? But Amul essentially is a cooperative, a dairy farmers cooperative which sells milk and milk-based products. And because they sell milk-based products, they obviously started selling protein and whey protein, and not just whey protein. They've added a bunch of products around proteins, stuff like milkshakes. They have lassi. They have, I think they have ice cream. They have milk. Obviously, they have protein paneer. They have
protein
a
yogurt.
bunch of protein yogurt. And recently, I had tweeted about them releasing protein kulfi, and
Oh
that is the
yeah,
one which got like pretty viral. But yeah, I mean, Amul has been adding a bunch of protein products to its portfolio. The only problem is that they are not integrating their protein products with their supply chains.
yeah,
So they are not really available anywhere except their own website, not even
yeah.
like e-commerce and stuff.
I
So the
heard that they're using Amazon logistics to power all deliveries. Did you know that?
yes, I knew that because I've ordered a bunch of them.
Okay. Have you been able? I've never been able to like. Every time I go to the website, it's always sold out.
Yeah, so I've generally ordered when the things have released, and then
Uh,
6 months later the demand dies down. That's when you reorder.
so what has
So
been like? What has been the best tasting protein product?
I think up till now it has been the rose lassi. So
Okay.
it's like a lassi
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the only problem is it's very chunky, so it's very hard to have it with like a straw. It's very gala. I don't know what do you call it?
Yeah, but that
Uh,
sounds that doesn't sound yum. That doesn't sound tasty.
I mean it's tasty. It's tasty. It's just
Like
the form factor is.
Gada lassi in a Tetra pack sounds weird.
Yeah, so we have to cut like the Tetra pack, take it out, and
Uh,
that's what. That's a different problem altogether. But having said that, like they've at least made it easier for me to after I eat, I don't go for like a weird ice cream or something like that. I can just go for a lassi, which is like a protein lassi, and because I go for a protein lassi and I know that I'm going to go for it, I can just have like one roti less or something like that. Because that way, then my food is sort of not like out of
yeah, yeah,
whack.
yeah.
Um, So yeah, they recently released protein kulfi, which is not even available right now. Like it's not even on their
So
website.
are we sure like
Uh,
protein kulfi is just like a is a real thing or is it just like a meme?
I mean, so a lot of news channels have covered it, news outlets have covered it. So we're assuming it's real, and I think they had shared it from one of their handles as well. But yeah, I mean, could be that all of us are falling for something here.
What's the weirdest protein product?
Yeah, I don't think India is experimenting too much with protein
Dude,
right
it
now.
is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you're
Kulfi is like that where I would say it's at.
I
You know,
saw there's this company called Super Water that sells protein water.
okay, I had not
Yeah.
come across that.
It tastes disgusting, so I do not recommend it at all. But that is one.
what is what is protein water? If you just mix whey protein with water.
No, no, it's something different and weird. I can't describe it.
Okay, protein water probably then is right up there.
Yeah.
I thought like protein kulfi is very different, but
Then
what I realized is there's a lot of scope for people to build, let's say, protein soft, protein elaichi, and all that
can you
jazz.
fit
You know,
enough protein in soft and lychee?
why not? You
How?
can cover. So you can what you can do is you can cover the soft with like protein powder. Right now, what people do is they do it with chashni, like sugar
Okay.
water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So instead of sugar water, you can use that protein water.
I don't know if you're gonna get very much protein from that. Can you?
I don't know what. See, if a person like has like 3 packets a day,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they get like 10 grams of protein from that. That's
That
more
seems
than
like
sufficient
I
for
don't
them.
know if you can fit 3 grams of protein in a small packet like that.
Why? I know. Like it's a 20-gram packet.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes, I was just wondering because I saw like not India but other places have like a bunch of protein um wacky stuff. I don't know how to explain
Interesting.
them.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, then I was like, okay, I went to my Kenny brain,
Yeah.
and then I was like, what what are the other things we can
Put
we can do
protein.
that is uniquely Indian, and that is where a protein
Protein.
can be put. For
Protein
example,
chai. Protein chai. I think that would hit.
yeah, protein chai is basically protein milk
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with like so that is not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's done and dusted.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so for example, soft is there, and then elaichi people have, pan masala people have. Why not like sprinkle some protein there? Why not?
I think
um,
we need to do the math of what is possible and how much protein consumption you can increase through that.
I came across protein pan by the way.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so they would like put like a gulkan and all those
Yeah.
things, and then they would put like a protein ka powder on that.
Interesting. Wait, is it pan flavored protein or
No, no,
protein?
pan. Like pan, you have a
Khane wala
pan,
pan?
no? Yeah, yeah, correct.
Because I know that like people make protein powder in the flavor of pan as well.
Ah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
also there.
Because I don't know if you've seen like the whole truth but or cosmics, but they also like they have like Indian flavors of whey protein. There's like I think like a mango one during summer season, and then like badam milk flavor.
Yeah, so badam milk flavor is definitely the badam one is actually pista and badam. That's what like my parents have told me to order essentially because they're like, if you want to do it, this is the way. Then I was like, okay, I'll do it.
So what where all do we have to like hide protein to make parents
Yeah, one thing is there, like we don't have enough protein snacks. For example, like obviously I told you about
too
uh
yum? Yeah.
Tuyam. So Tuyam actually is they claim it's baked,
Okay, okay.
not fried.
Yeah.
They're going the different health route, but they're not going the protein route. For the protein route, for example, we don't have any tandoori protein. Like, and you would say like,
What do you mean
how do
chicken is
these things
tandoori
go?
protein? Paneer is tandoori protein?
Are
Acha.
whey protein and all those things. And that's like a fair point by the way. Like how you have chicken, how you also have paneer, right? Like whey has like a similar taste and those things as paneer does.
Okay,
So
fair.
if paneer can taste good with like masala,
Yeah.
I don't think Way is too far away from it.
ठीक है, fair enough. Interesting. I think the
So
most
that is one thing that
yeah,
hmm?
an idea for people to start.
More than idea, I think it's something that people can probably experiment with and then
Yeah.
figure out, okay, if this is there or not. This is a concept of an idea.
No, I think like getting people more protein is always a good idea in India. I think after
Hmm.
this we're gonna get into the stage of okay, people are having all this protein now. We have to make them have fiber. I think most people actually have enough fiber in this country, but for all the
Yeah.
protein junkies who become protein junkies, then they're gonna not enough eat enough fiber. So then we need to solve for the next stage in healthy food.
Yeah. I think the thing with fiber is because we eat roti, at least North Indians,
No,
there's enough fiber
I don't
in
think
roti.
there's enough fiber in roti. I think uske liye sabzi.
So if you have like six rotis a day, that gives you enough fiber for yourself.
I don't think so. That does not seem accurate.
As as per Healthify Me, it is. Now
I don't
Healthify
think
Me's data
roti has
working.
that much fiber. I think sabzi खानी पड़ती है उसके लिए.
No, no.
A medium-sized roti has 2 grams of fiber.
And how much do you need actually? You need 10 or something.
25 to 38 grams.
Okay.
That means you
So
have
it
to have
gives you
14 rotis a day.
14 rotis a day.
Or you could have
Yeah.
I mean, in the US, they have fiber gummies.
Yeah, that's what the another thing was. I like there are not enough protein gummies
I
out
don't
there.
think you can have protein. हर चीज का gummy नहीं बन सकता है.
क्यों नहीं बन सकता?
I don't think this is possible.
Why not?
You can't just fit, like, protein also needs to be digestible, na?
So
So I don't know if you can
that's my
fit,
body's problem.
I don't know if you can fit digestible protein in gummies.
What's a digestible protein?
Like a protein that your body can digest and absorb.
Like you can put whey in gummy, no?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if it works like that. I'm not a food scientist, but I think if it was that easy, then we'd have way more like protein pills and protein shots.
Yeah, there would be supplement proteins there out there, right? And actually, if you look at it, like protein has just exploded in like what 4 5 years last,
Yeah,
right? Before that, it was mostly like the the gym bros who were
yeah,
having it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of like
Maybe
we're a couple years behind the US, where like protein kind of got normalized in the US and then it got normalized in India, and then creatine was kind of a health supplement that everyone who used to go to the gym started taking in the US, and I've started seeing that happen in India now. We'll see
yeah,
what the next, like, there's this company called Athletic Greens.
yeah, in the US.
Yeah, that has like this like daily supplement green juice thingy that
Hmm.
like Huberman also keeps talking about. I'm sure like someone's gonna build that for India one, or someone's already importing
Hmm.
that from the, a lot of people are importing that from the US.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but protein gummies, I don't know. I'm not sold on that yet.
Why not? Like, I mean, the thing is, this is you find like places where you can fit protein, like like a chewing gum. Wherever you have a chewing gum, you can have probably a protein gum.
I think let's try to fit it in the foods we consume rather than like
uh,
these weird places. Protein cigarette, protein samosa,
yeah,
protein vada pav.
I saw
Yeah,
that. I saw
I think those are
that.
easier to accomplish than protein chewing gum.
I don't know. Protein cigarette is maybe taking it too far,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for other things for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you fry a whey?
I don't know. I've never tried any. I can barely cook, so I don't think I'm gonna be the audience that try. But if you are a subscriber and listener, please tell us your experiments with whey and how it
Yeah,
works for you.
for
Oh,
science,
but like,
please.
yeah, but like protein ice cream. Like, see, I can see that.
Yeah, get away, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah, yeah. Protein soft serve. कोई भी डेयरी प्रोडक्ट में मिला दो, वो जो अमूल का
Yeah,
नहीं रहा है.
how much दूध will you have? And protein kulfi is exactly that,
हाँ, तो
no?
मतलब इंडिया में मतलब लोग 3-4 वैरायटी के डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स तो यूज़ करते हैं एवरीडे.
Right.
Like kids will have milk every day.
Hmm.
Like I was forced to have dahi growing up, so I eat dahi almost every day now.
Dahi chini was like my one of my
Yeah, without
favorites.
chini. हर चीज में
But
चीनी मिला
another
सकते हैं
thing.
ना. We're trying to be healthy. You're talking about chini डाल
But
दो.
another thing I liked, I think is missing, or maybe I don't know if the market is not there or not. But protein laddu seems like a fit thing.
That's what. Have you not seen the folks at Artist tried this?
Attis,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Attis Health.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh right, right. Yeah, I saw that.
The
I saw that. I saw their
Huberman
marketing.
laddus.
Yeah, I
I mean,
saw the
we
marketing
we
there.
we already have protein chocolate bars. So protein laddus can be the next, or protein mithai.
Correct.
But I don't know if that's
It
actually
doesn't
like
seem far
good for
fetched.
you.
It's
Does
better
the
than.
sugar in it outweigh the advantages of the protein?
I mean, if you have a problem with sugar, then yes.
Yeah,
But if you don't have, and you're just looking for a way to easily have protein, I think.
interesting. I don't know. I also
Hmm.
heard Food Farmer is apparently possibly starting a whey protein brand.
Oh, nice.
Would you buy from him?
I think I'm already sorted on protein.
Okay.
Like there's the whole truth, and there's
Cosmics? Or what do you use?
uh no, I use whole truth and one more. But yeah, I that's these are the two ones I use. I don't remember the second one,
Acha,
but
fair enough.
uh,
No, I like whole truth as well. I like the chocolate flavor.
yeah, I like the right bite chocolate bar,
Yeah,
the protein chocolate
yeah.
bar, and I like the whole truth
Protein powder.
powder.
Yeah.
That's yeah,
Same.
that's my protein
Your
stack.
protein stack. You don't
What's your protein
you don't do
stack?
you not like the right bite cookie?
It was a miss for me.
Okay, okay. My protein stack is also whole truth, but then
Uh,
meat because that is easier
ah,
form of protein.
lucky guy.
Like तुम्हें तो मतलब 1 kg प्रोटीन पनीर खाना पड़ेगा फिर उस सेम अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोटीन.
Tofu, I like tofu.
Okay. I guess yeah, like do tofu and tempeh also probably have some amount of
Yeah,
protein.
yeah. I mean, they're like better than whatever else.
दाल से तो better है.
Uh, also the better.
हाँ,
And even chap. Maybe there is some soya.
हाँ.
Yeah, soya is
I
also
mean tempeh is
uh,
also and tofu is all tofu only. I mean soy only, na.
soya.
Soya tofu is prepared by coagulating soy milk. So
What does that mean?
uh, I don't know
Something.
something.
It's
Tempeh
made by
is
soy milk.
also tempeh is fermented soybean. So yes, they're both soy.
So that's our protein
Our protein stack.
protein
Okay,
stack.
now moving from the protein stack to the AI stack. Did you see India's? I guess I don't know. I don't know if you'd call it like India's favorite AI company because I think Krutham has that title.
It's too early to call that.
Krutham has that title.
I, okay.
But did you see Sarvam in the news today or this week? Sorry.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I saw. I think I found out about it when I saw Paris's tweet. When
Hmm.
I mean, there's some news that the government has chosen Sarvam to build its first homegrown AI model, whatever that means, and they're giving them a grand total of 220 crores. And Paris was like, the government is giving them money to build a closed source model. Why are they not building open source? Yada
Hmm.
yada yada. Why is the government giving money away? And then,
Hmm.
interestingly, the founder replied and was like, the government is giving them, I think, 220 crores worth of compute for an equity stake in the company.
Wow.
And I think this is like one of the first times I've seen the government of India taking a stake in a very early stage private company.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I don't remember any other
yeah,
examples as well.
like they've taken. I mean, they now unfortunately own some amount in Vodafone, and Airtel is trying to ask them to own in Airtel as well.
Yeah.
But this is a very early stage company with presumably no revenue and to me no product. Like I guess like you're definitely like well more versed in the AI world, but like is access to compute really that big of a problem that still persists on this level of scale?
Yeah. So basically, the problem is you don't get. let's
Ready.
say 4,000 cards ready available whenever you want,
Yeah.
right? That is one.
Yeah.
When do you do get it,
Yeah.
it's not cheap, it's very expensive, because the demand right now is like crazy high.
I agree.
um, and like a combination of these factors makes it very hard for people to sort of get these things.
Yeah. But if you
But
have
I think what
if you have a shit ton of capital, is it still a problem?
it's still expensive.
No, it's expensive, but it's not a problem. No?
So I think with government, right, like the rates would be much cheaper.
I
So
agree, but like when I look at this, I'm like, oh, Sarvam thinks their own company is overvalued because they think the cheapest thing to give the government is equity. And if they're giving government equity, that means they can't go raise $100 million from other folks. Because right now people are like clamoring hand over fist to go invest in AI companies. That if India's largest AI company has to resort to taking compute grants from the government, they're in a very sad state.
no, but I think it would have been more of like we want the government on our side,
Yeah, I
and
think that's yeah.
if this allows us to do that, then let's just go for it. On top of that, we also get like credits. So I think it's more closer to that than anything else.
Well, I think that is your
Charitable check.
perception. I don't know. I feel like this seems like a
So
does not seem like a good deal, or like makes me think of Sarvam very highly if they can't get like Neil Mehta put $1 billion into Ilya's new company,
hmm,
the Super Safe Intelligence.
SSI,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of money available for AI infrastructure companies.
yeah. I don't know if it's available in India though right now. Like
I
I
mean, if it's not, that means that people don't think the teams have the dog in them.
Probably. So with Sarvam though, I work with them essentially, but I've had chats about like what their who their customers are, and like they have like a bunch of big Indian B2C names you could guess probably. They have like models for voice, they have models for obviously text and all, and these models can converse in Hindi, let's say, or Telugu, Tamil, a bunch of these languages. Um, and they're sort of automating away a lot of Indian companies' problems. So there's no like they don't really have a direct competitor at this point, which is at a scale or which is at the economics that they are at. So that way, I think they are not really at a disadvantage right now. But obviously, like their founders are much more academic than let's say the other people that you would probably feel. Seems like they already know how to work with the government because like that's what they've been
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
earlier
yeah.
as well. They have been like a research lab.
Yep.
Seems like more of a cultural fit for them to take from the government is what I understood from it.
Fair. I mean, it make and like having the government on your side is definitely like helpful in our country because it does like regulatory capture does allow you to do a lot of things, and it does block out other people from doing things.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like if this is going to be India's largest AI company, that like celebrating taking money from the government is something we should be doing. And like I would expect if this company is really like on hot shit, then all the global VCs would be trying to
And
invest in them, which is not the
I
case.
think what also happens is if government has been let's say ridiculed enough
Yeah,
to not because they have not let's say invested in AI or whatever technology stack we have, they tend to go overboard on the other side then. And then I think this could be one example of that
fair.
where they're like, okay, which is the company that India is producing models that are producing Indian models. I think there are two big ones, which is Krutrim and Sarvam, and they are like, okay, Krutrim is already they have like a public thing going on. They're already set and all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Sarvam seems like a new entry, and I think that's probably the thought process. I honestly think it was more of a government thing than
Take
a
it.
Sarvam thing.
I'm sure like they are probably one of the more capable AI teams in India, even having worked on the space. Uh,
Correct. I mean,
I
especially for Indian problems, yes, I would say, because that's what their research has been about.
yeah,
Like the founders have been working on this specific problem for way longer than other teams.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just think we like everyone I've been speaking to, all the like VCs. I think we're not seeing enough AI stuff in India, and I think that's why it is disappointing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but even Sarvam, even privately has raised a lot of money though, right?
not that much, only 50 million. Oh, okay, no, 41 million across the seed and A.
Got it. So 41 million is what, 320 crores.
Yeah,
So like 220 if government is giving. I mean,
no,
that's a
220 is
sizable
in
amount.
compute. Or how much compute they use.
Correct. So 220 would be the compute that would have come from, let's say, the 320 that they have raised.
Yeah,
So technically, because most of their expenses are obviously in compute,
yeah, yeah.
because they're doing training rather than inference. Inference is still cheaper. Like
Ah,
inference is not a problem for
yeah,
anyone to go and buy.
yeah,
The training compute is still a problem.
yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying to build like a generational AI company,
Hmm.
40,
Hmm.
50, $60 million jump change. Like Ilya's raising 1 billion, Mira is raising 2 billion, Poolside has raised however 100 millions, this guy is raising 500 million, that guy is raising 200 million. आप लोग 50 मिलियन का क्या करोगे?
So Sarvam has actually raised 53.6 million before the government.
Okay, that's nothing in this space.
In this space, yeah.
In this
For
space.
India, it's still like the biggest one.
हाँ, I mean मतलब कृत्रिम में also 50 मिलियन उठाया ना मैंने.
खुद ही से, yes. But
खुद ही से नहीं, क्या बोल रहे हो? मैट्रिक्स ने डाला पैसा और Z47.
really,
Yeah, I thought so.
the article I'm reading says the AI firm founded by Ola Electric's Bhavish raised money from Matrix partners
Yeah, yeah.
in debt, 24 million in debt, by the way.
From Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting,
but
interesting.
yeah,
ठीक है.
things are things are heating up. Are you putting money in any of the model layer companies?
I mean, I don't think my money would go very far, and I don't have access to any of the model companies. So if a model company is coming to me, that means that I probably have like adverse selection. So I'm not putting money in any model company. I am very disappointed by the lack of consumer AI companies. So people, please start consumer AI companies. And
Let Anmol invest in
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Because like I do think that
So,
like there's not enough happening around consumers and AI in India. Like
hmm,
we already know like consumer AI products. Like I mean, India is the second largest market for ChatGPT. There is a ton of opportunity to tweak your business model and pricing models to build consumer products where people will pay. And we already know
hmm,
people are paying for AI products.
hmm.
कुछ तो बहुत कुछ होगा. Like I'm surprised there's not like enough like of these like tech homework tools in or like explanation tools.
There are like a couple of my friends are working on like edtech,
Okay,
especially. So there is one in, it's called Super Kalam.
okay,
It's in UPSC training. Then there is K12's. A couple of people. One of my business lead was working on education up till K12.
yeah. But are these mostly like course businesses with an AI product attached to it?
I mean, technically, yes. I mean, they do walk you through the course, but then the AI is the teacher.
Oh, okay.
So the
Oh,
AI sort of does the whiteboarding.
got
You can pause it whenever, and then ask questions at that moment and stuff like that.
got it. Okay, okay. Interesting. Yeah, but there's just like photo editing, video editing. We need like a share chat AI thingy for
Yeah,
Indian uncle.
I mean, they are the ones that spread a lot,
Yeah, yeah.
so they are easy to get viral. They're easy to acquire customers versus, let's say, education.
I mean,
And then
education can go viral as well. Like I mean, like the kids all start sharing stuff. If
not like, because I mean, because there's like a paid element to it, and kids don't pay for it. Like
that
it's the
I
students that pay
well
for
like
it.
that's because all tech products in India are built for parents, not for kids.
Yeah, because kids don't
No,
pay.
I mean
That's the
kids do pay
problem.
in America.
They they have their own like cards and stuff.
Okay, maybe like I'm talking about like 16, 17, 18, 19, like high school
Uh,
plus college
Makes
kids.
Yeah, I mean there is definitely for college kids,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
for UPSC preparation, for CAT preparation, and all those things is there. For let's say, but school and all, I think that's where you end up
young
targeting
parents.
parents
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Another problem with education is that you spend the CAC and then your LTV is sort of limited unless you do CAC. Oh, sorry, K-12.
Yeah, yeah.
Because let's say if you're selling for JE coaching, uh, you can do it for like max 2 years because after that they're not allowed to sit for it.
No, you could start selling them from ninth grade in JE coaching.
No, so but you'll sell the whole course
Yeah, yeah.
in one go. No? So the LTV to CAC ratio is all kinds of problematic over there.
Fair, fair. I mean, like, yeah, you have to. I mean, think I would assume the CAC for course businesses are just very expensive. So maybe if you build a tool, it
Mhm.
is maybe a cheaper CAC. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
More AI girlfriend ही बना दो कुछ तो बना दो.
AI girlfriend, a bunch of people are making in
Yeah.
India.
But I don't know if any of the ones they're making are investable.
Yeah, none of them are investable.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
That's our time.
That's the time. We will see
We
you.
want people to subscribe. We want people to comment. We want people to like the video. The last video got a very good response. To
Yeah,
be honest,
he did.
it has it is going to become like our most watched video now.
I think,
And like maybe today it will
yeah, it
become.
will. Tell us why you liked that video and what we should keep doing or remove or not do, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. Cool man. See ya.
Cool.
Bye.